Spiteful Shot is an augment spell that you can use on missile units, and it'll give you both massively increased accuracy and improved magical. Also gives your shots magical damage.
Yeah.
So it's like best used on something like a Queen Bess or the Queen Bess, where it just basically cranks your accuracy up to the max.
Yeah.
So you're very likely to hit what you're aiming at if you're using the spell. So it's really good at just maximizing the value of your first early shots. And you get a good synergy with extra powder as well.
Yes, yeah.
Because if you use this while your extra powder is on, you know, those first few hits will hit really hard and they'll hit regularly.
Yeah.
So
you've got a gunline army, and this is the spell that makes your gunlines good.
So to stop it being crazy powerful, you can only use it on one unit at a time. But you can really use that to, especially maybe if you're coming up in a scenario, maybe you've got like a unit of hex rays coming at you, fast moving, ethereal, you need to take them down. You've got that magic damage imbued, and you're going to up their accuracy, which can really help them deal the damage to them.
And it's also a very cheap spell, so
Yeah.
you can use it frequently, and that will then activate the lore attribute, which is called Kiss of the Deep, which I saw you guys were struggling with.
Yes, yeah, we hadn't seen that yet, so that's
So
the first time
basically,
we've seen
the
it.
lore attribute for the Lore of the Deep is whenever you cast a spell, the opponent receives the Kiss of the Deep, so basically seawater in the lungs.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what effect does that have on
It deals the damage.
Oh, really? Wow,
Yeah.
jeez.
So it's kind of the opposite of something like a Life Bloom, where it's like every time you cast a spell, you heal.
Yeah.
Now it's like every time you cast a spell, you're going to deal a little bit of damage to the
Okay,
enemy. So over
interesting.
time, you can wear them down just by casting spells.
So how it ties into the lore, why is making gunpowder weapons greater is like, well, in black powder, one of the ingredients is sodium, which is salt. So it's like Stromfels is blessing the salt in the black powder to make it a bit better.
True shot,
Yes.
giving it that little bit of bend in the wind. So we're moving on to the second spell here. The next one being Tide Call. So this is a bit more of a utility spell. So this is going to be really good for disrupting enemy lines.
Yeah, this is a note we really wanted to hit, which is the Tidal Wave. So basically, it's a breath spell which sends forth a wave of water, which has a lot of impact force. So you'll basically be dealing damage and sending the enemy backwards.
It's one of the prettiest spells
It
I've
looks
ever
amazing. Yeah, it looks fantastic.
You can really see how it just clears out a path.
Yeah.
And it'll also apply a contact effect that will slow down to whatever you're hitting. So it's, again, one of those synergistic spells where, you know, something threatening is coming your way. Usually it's best used against infantry. Like, say, a high-value infantry unit is coming your way. You want to stop it, buy some more time to shoot. Use Tide Call.
Yeah, especially when you've got like an exposed unit of gunners, maybe, who are, you've left them a little bit, well, as I said, exposed, and then cavalry's come around to hit you. You can use that to disrupt them, get them on the ground, and then just slow them down as well. So you can just have that last desperate volley. But I imagine it's also really good for helping your units escape.
Yeah, definitely, because you'll basically knock everyone down and slow them down so they can't pursue as quickly, which is useful when you have zombies.
Yes, yeah.
So,
especially when you've got a big old clump of units like we can see here.
Yeah.
Say you've got like a really important character in there who is dying, just completely surrounded by units. You can use that to almost sort of clear a path for them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So not going to do a crazy amount of damage, but you can see that it has a lot of mass, really able to just floor them for quite a while, and then slow them down. How long did that slow take effect for?
So the slow is 10 seconds, so it's not too long. And then you probably usually take units for something like 5-6 seconds to really kind of get up and get back into their position. So yeah, you buy yourself a bit of time with that. And I wouldn't undersell the damage.
Yeah.
Like if you aim it well, especially if you aim like the final proportion of the spell, where you kind of see those big waves come up, that's where you're actually going to be dealing quite a bit of damage, because like with any breath spell, it's like the starting point of the spell will deal it won't deal too much damage because the area effect is quite small there.
Yeah, the cone.
But once you get to the end of the cone,
Yeah.
you're going to be dealing significant damage.
Yeah, because you've got that full width there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So nice utility spell there that can really slow people down. Then you can tie it in with that spiteful shot, give you super amounts of accuracy. You can really take down people that you're going after. But to look for something a little bit more of a help for your units in actual melee combat, which is rare, but you do have units in melee combat. We're going to be looking to the Fog of the Damned. So Fog of the Damned being a hex, a large area of effect as well.
Correct. It's a 40-meter radius. it's a spell you want to use either when you want to break an enemy, or if you want to just buy your units time in melee, because it's a melee attack debuff, and it also reduces the leadership of the enemy. So it does a lot of synergy with units that will already reduce leadership. So, for example, if something causes terror, you and something is engaging them, you want to drop a Fog of the Damned there.
Yeah.
Or if you're, say, using the Gallows Giant, which deals a burnt melee contact effect, so it basically reduces the morale already by, I think, -8.
Yeah.
And then you drop this on top of it, and it deals terror.
Big old mass route incoming, yeah.
Yeah, it can be really brutal.
Yeah, some really, really awesome effects there. You can see it all seeping out with those ethereal skulls popping out.
Yeah, this is like one of those spells where we wanted to more hit that ghostly undead tone.
I mean, from an archetype point of view in the lore, ghost pirates and fog.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was a movie
Yeah,
about
probably, yeah. So they'll never know
John
how many
Carpenter.
we are in this fog. It's kind of hinting at the fact that this is literally like the damned souls that maybe have been drowned at sea.
Yeah.
Coming out of the fog to deal that sort of fear to the
They
enemies.
come
in
out of
them.
the fog, to quote Jamie Lee Curtis.
So moving on to the only summon spell that we have, apart from the standard replacement for the vampire zombie summoning, is the Denizens of the Deep, which is my personal favourite because it spawns Krabby Boys, and that's basically all you need in a spell, really. So it's going to give you some summoned rotting Prometheans.
Yeah. So with this spell, we wanted to get this idea of really convey the notion that, not only are you controlling the waters, you're controlling whatever lies buried deep or lies deep in the abyss.
Yeah.
So, rotting Prometheus, or like big Krabby Boys.
It's a great effect as they come in as well.
Yeah.
That orb. Yeah.
The VFX artists have really gone to town on this.
Yeah, basically like both our concept artists who actually came up with the portal and how it should look, and our VFX artists who actually had water is probably one of the hardest elements to represent in VFX art. And they've done a really good job with it. So I'm really proud of my artists.
Your artists.
Your artists.
Yeah, our artists.
Let it go to you.
So we see a few of these sort of like undersea creatures in the roster for the Vampire Coast. How have they managed to bring them under their control?
Well, because they're dead.
Oh, well, simple as that.
And therefore, vampires control dead things.
Yeah. So when summoning, so this is kind of like dredging the corpses up from under the ocean almost.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah, they're from the deep. Nothing rests easy in the Warhammer world, especially probably in those. I mean, in this world, if you go down into the deep oceans, there's some scary stuff.
Yeah.
Keep it PG.
We're gonna
so imagine what it's like in the Warhammer world. It's there is deep sea anglers plus 20, and just come some crazy aliens.
And we've spoken a little bit about the amount of tentacles in this DLC, and we're going to see some in the next spell with the Kraken's Pull. So this is probably it's probably the second coolest looking one, I'd say. Yeah. Because we all know what the first coolest looking one is, but this one is really, really visual. But what kind of effect is it going to have on the battlefield?
So it's a Vortex spell. Probably the closest thing you've seen to it before is Pit of Shades.
Yes, Pit of Shades.
So it's a Vortex spell that'll pull enemies inwards to it whilst dealing damage. Won't deal as much damage as, say, Pit of Shades.
Yeah.
But the advantage is that it also has a Kraken's Pull contact debuff, which gives you -48, or gives anything that touches -48% speed. So you can really use it to tie something down in an area.
So that's double the effect that Tidal has as well. So
it's a double the effect, and especially like Kraken's Pull upgrade, it lasts I think something like 30 seconds.
Oh my god!
So you can really just tie, say, slow moving. Say you hit a unit of Dwarven infantry here.
Yeah.
You can just keep them pinned, and then hit them with, say, I don't know, Queen Bess shot or something.
Or just an absurd line of armor-piercing missiles.
Yeah. So there's like a lot of things you can do with it, because it is kind of like a crowd control spell in many ways.
I think it's a good go-to spell for people like me that aren't really good micros, like you, Oscar.
It gives you time to think, right?
It does. It's just I'm going to throw that big vortex over there, and you know you're going to do some damage. You don't have to think too much about I can tie people down and blah blah.
It's nice, especially with vortex spells. It's nice to have a stationary one because it means that because vortexes can be really difficult to work out where they're going to move. So to have that nice stationary one means that you know exactly where it's going to hit, which is always really handy. Huge range as well, as you can see, really big area of effect.
Yeah, it's got like a 50-meter radius, so it's among the largest of the vortex spells we have. So yeah, it'll generally hit a lot of guys because it also has the contact effect. The contact like if you say you're only partially hitting a unit, a contact effect will still
affect the entire unit.
So you can, if you just position it well, you can affect a lot of units at once. So it's a very useful tool, and it's not too expensive either for like a tier 3 spell.
So you talked briefly about upgraded spells, and obviously we're going to see in the campaign chain a few ways that you can augment them. What kind of things can you expect from some of the the Overcast variants of these spells?
So for Spiteful Shot, it's extra duration. Upgraded Tide Call will deal more damage.
Okay.
Then you have with Denizens of the Deep, that doesn't have an Overcast because.
Leviathan.
We probably should have done the Leviathan, but I was
probably a bit OP.
I'd probably struggle to balance that. So
not too late.
Yeah,
and that's for this.
And then Fog of the Dam will reduce, will further reduce melee attack. So it's like minus 44 melee attack. So if you drop that on an elite unit that's trying to say cut to your zombies to get to your guns.
Well, not even that, but you don't have the strongest infantry with Vampire Coast, but you drop another unit's melee attack by 44, suddenly they can probably go toe to toe with them. So if you've got a unit depth guard there tying them down, they can probably waste people.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, you're gonna buy a lot of time by casting the spell, especially the upgraded version. Then you have Kraken's Pull. It's like double duration for it, and then we have the final spell.
The final spell, the biggest boy, even bigger than the Krabby Boys, and we're going to see a bit of a favourite character coming in here as well with Vangeist's Revenge. So tell me a little bit about Vangeist, Andy.
So he's like a vengeful wraith who takes his ship, the Shade Wraith, was kind of Noctilus's minion, or kind of in thrall to Noctilus. And I think, like I said on the previous rally point, we had a certain amount of kind of Dreadfleet characters. We couldn't put too many in, as it turns it into a Dreadfleet. But we kind of wanted to get Captain Vangeist in there, so we gave him a little bit of a cameo in this spell.
So summoning out of the deeps, his ghost ship comes forth and deals a hell of a lot of damage in a very small, compact area as well.
Yeah, it's actually, I think, the highest damaging wind spell that we have, but it's also the slowest in terms of actually, like, the delay you have between choosing to cast it, waiting for the wind up, waiting for the ship to come up. So there's a lot of... It's very heavily telegraphed.
It's a skill shot,
It's definitely a skill shot, but if you land...
I know, it's still worth it.
If you land it, it's just going to devastate anything it hits.
And it looks incredible. Like, it looks fantastic. I love the effect.
This was pretty much the one thing we definitely wanted to do. Because, like, when we figured out, okay, we're going to do Vampire Coast, we wanted broadside. Because ever since I playing Empire Total War, loved the broadsides. And I just wanted to get one in.
Especially coming up against, because it's going to do quite a lot of armor-piercing damage, I think.
It's pretty much fully armor-piercing. It's cannonballs.
Yeah, exactly. So you can use that to really take down, especially like a unit of Chosen or something like that, because it's got that small area of effect. If you can tie down one of those super elite units, you can rip them to shreds. Which is really good use for it.
Yeah, like a perfect use for it is probably just tying someone up on a rotting Leviathan.
If you can Kraken's Pull and Shade Wraith Revenge 1-2, well, you're better than me. But it's devastating.
Yeah, you'd probably need to have a lot of mana regeneration going on at that point, because you're unlikely to be able to get both of them off at the same time. You could theoretically get like a Tide Call in, and then the Vanguard's Revenge.
So it's quite expensive. 16 wins of Magic, so it's gonna cost you a pretty penny. But
yeah, I mean
You
it's
need a lot of wins.
yeah.
yeah.
Especially if you want to do one.
all in all, it's not that expensive because again, it's a skill shot win.
Yes. Yeah.
It's especially the upgraded version is really expensive, but then we're talking about like silly levels of damage.
So is that campaign only we're talking here?
No.
No.
No, I mean if you're brave enough to invest the resources into the risk of casting an upgraded Vanguard's Revenge in say multiplayer,
Yeah.
go for it. But
It's a bold move.
if it misses, or say if your opponent spots it coming and then decides to move his line back while your guys are still chasing,
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a few YouTube clips of
Yes.
some multiplayer.
I'm excited to
shades.
now that people are getting used to the lore as well. I'm excited to see some of the top level multiplayer play.